Did you know that Tenby's North Beach once had wheeled huts pulled by horses to take people into the sea to bathe? That's because back then, modesty was a serious business. Now in Victorian times, sea bathing was prescribed as a medicine, so there would be separate zones for men and women, and it wouldn't be done to see in your bathing gear.
So the next time you're down here on North Beach, sunbathing in your shorts, just think, that would have scandalised Victorian Tenby.
High above South Beach in Tenby, something quite unusual is happening. This stalk that you can see over the parapet behind me is the agave cactus. At around 30 years of age, the cactus puts a stalk about 25 foot up into the air. It will bloom, distribute its seeds, and then the whole plant will die. We're fortunate to have such a mild climate here in Tenby. It means that plants like the cactus and so many palm trees that you see around can survive. And while the bloom is known as the death bloom, signifying that the plant will die, it's a reminder that even endings can be spectacular. So the town of Tenby is well known for being family friendly, dog friendly, but did you know that the North Beach here in Tenby is remarkably accessible for people with disabilities? And it's all thanks to the Victorians. So in Victorian times, it was thought that the sea and the sea air had remarkable properties. So Victorian nannies would bring the children down in perambulators down onto the North Walk here, and they needed nice accessible ramps to get down to the beach. You can even hire these special beach-friendly wheelchairs from Joe's Diner down on the beach. So Goscar Rock is one of Tenby's iconic landmarks. It's an ancient limestone block. It's been used as a landmark for Tenby. It's been used by ships in the past to recognise where the harbour is. But did you know it's purported to carry a magical power? Now local folklore has it that if you touch the rocks of Goscar at high tide and make a wish, by the next high tide, your wish will come true. We'll see if that works. I'm looking forward to my lottery win. Make hay while the sun shines. It's a well-known saying used to, say, grab the opportunity when it's available, but many of us forget about exactly where it comes from. So why is it such an important saying in agriculture? Well, at this time of year, it's July, and it's time to actually mow the fields and get the hay in. However, you need to make hay in a number of different stages. The first stage you need to do is to cut the hay. The next thing you need to do is for the hay to dry. So in order for that to happen, we need 3 or 4 days of really good sunshine. So it's so important that we come out at exactly the right time, cut the hay, because the hay needs to be cut. We need to come back now and turn the hay. After we've turned the hay needs to be swept into rows, and then the rows need to be baled and the bales sealed. And it's so important that we don't have rain during that period so that nothing gets damp or rotten or the bales ferment. Now the hay that we're making here is going to be used for horses, so it's really important that it dries out. So we do need several days in order for it to get completely dry. Horses have a very specialised digestive system. If they eat fermented grass, the gases can build up in their stomachs and cause an issue called colic. Horses can't burp, they can't throw up, so if they get a problem with the digestive system, they basically just lie down and die. So it's vital that the hay dries out over the next few days. So making the hay is a race against time for us. We've got to make sure that everything gets turned in time, and we've got to make sure that everything is dry. So while it's a race against time for us to get the hay in, what that can mean is that if you're visiting a rural area, you might find that you're driving behind what seems like tractor after tractor, but in reality it's because we're racing to get that hay prepared, baled and in before the rains come. So if you're planning a trip to a rural area, come down, enjoy the sunshine, but remember, for farmers and agriculture, it can be a race against time. So welcome to Castle Hill in Tenby, where you can expect some stunning views, some brisk sea breezes, and a touch of Norman conquest. The castle on the hill was built by the Normans on the site of an old Iron Age fort, and it was designed to defend against attackers such as rebels and pirates, but these days all that remains of it is this small tower and some crumbling walls. So the castle and its walls may no longer be here, but it's still a spot that gives you the best view of Tenby.